guys, today in this video we are talking about the meal plan and why it's so important for you to eat small meals every 3 to 4 hours. And I'm going to explain the meal plan. I've also updated Metabolism Tune-Up with some more options, and so I wanted to tell you about that. But we are going to go over again why it's so important for you to eat about 300 to 400 calories every 3 to 4 hours. And I know this is a very difficult concept to get over. And that's why I want to talk about it, is because so many women are tempted to skip breakfast because we've been conditioned to think that skipping meals helps us to lose fat because it puts us into ketosis. And so we're burning more fat. And I want to talk about why we don't want to do that long term and why it's not the best thing for your metabolism, because we are trying to improve your entire system. We're trying to improve your detox and your hormones and your sleep and your energy. And we want to have the best of both. We want to raise your metabolism, and I want you to lose weight in the process. So we are going to be doing, I want you to really think about and understand why it's so important to be eating 300 to 400 calories every 3 to 4 hours. Okay, so let's just think about the big picture. If you have fatty liver, no gallbladder, or an MTHFR variation, you've likely been through a lot and you've tried a lot of different things. You've tried keto, carnivore fasting, intermittent fasting, low carb, maybe just juice cleanses. You've tried a lot of things and they maybe worked for a little while, but they didn't work long term and they weren't sustainable. And so maybe you lost weight you lost a little bit of weight, but then you gained it back. And then you gained it back, you felt more bloated, more fatigued, you weren't sleeping well, you felt like your hormones are off. So we want to get out of that cycle, and we want to think about our metabolism like it's on training wheels. We're retraining our metabolism. We want to build it back up and make it fire as high as it possibly can. So the big picture is we want to get out of this cycle of trying to restrict, and we want to get into the cycle of nourishing and supporting our bodies that could give us the energy to do everything that we want to do. We have big dreams and goals, and we want to accomplish a lot of things in our life, and we want to just be out there, and we want to use our energy. And so if you want to do big things, if you want to be used to your fullest potential, you have to have a metabolism that fuels the energy for that. So I have 8 kind of points that I want to talk about. We've already talked about the big picture. We're retraining our metabolism. We're getting out of that dieting restriction mentality. And point number 2 is your liver. What does your liver need? Your liver needs a steady supply of energy in order to detoxify. And if you have no gallbladder, fatty liver, MTHFR variation, you have a higher toxic load because those things slow your detox. And your liver is your detox organ, and it cannot function on ketones. It has to have glucose. It has to have energy. So we really want to support our liver to keep detoxing all through the day. And just remember, you can burn fat even though you are eating, because your body is using 2 fuel sources. It's using fat and glucose. So it can do more than one at one time. So point number 2 was we want to support our liver. Point number 3 is we want to support our hormones. Skipping meals and restriction is sending a signal that it's not safe to have normal hormone levels. And so that's going to tank your progesterone. Your estrogen might go up, or it might fluctuate up and down. So you're going to get imbalanced hormones if you go too long with all this restriction, like low calorie, low carb, keto, carnivore fasting, intermittent fasting, all of that. Point number 4 is we want to build up our metabolism. We want to keep the fuel on the fire so that your metabolism can fully function at its highest capacity. So you want to keep energy in the system so you can detox, so you can think, so you can move your body, so you can have energy for relationships. You want to do all of that. Number 5 is cravings. So when you skip meals, when you restrict, it's going to backfire eventually, and you're going to end up with cravings. So that could be carb cravings, sugar cravings, cravings at night. You're going to end up overeating. We want to avoid those big disastrous situations that can cause you to overeat. And when you eat small meals frequently, like every 3 to 4 hours, you are keeping your cortisol low. You're supplying energy to your body, and so your body will not eventually overtake your willpower. Okay, so you can only have willpower for so long. We don't want to have to rely on willpower. We want to be supporting our body to detox, to heal, to have energy, and not to have cravings. So you're not smarter than your body. If you try to skip meals, your body's smarter than you. It's going to come at you with huge cravings, and it's going to get the energy it needs one way or another, and then you're going to end up overeating if you don't eat frequently throughout the day. Number 6, sleep. So when you don't supply your body with the nutrients it needs throughout the day, you could have higher cortisol, and higher cortisol can result in poor sleep. And if you get poor sleep, that means that the next day your stress hormones are going to be higher. You're going to be less insulin sensitive. You're going to be more tired, and you're going to have more cravings for junk food. So we want to give your body the nutrients it needs throughout the day so you can sleep really restfully and nicely at night. Number 7, your nervous system. If your nervous system, if you've been in a state of fight or flight, which a lot of you have, you've been really stressed out for a lot of reasons, you've been through a lot, you have your gallbladder removed, you had some health scares, you've been through a lot, and so your nervous system is already stressed out. We want to calm your nervous system down by giving it this safety signal that there's plenty of food, and by supplying your nervous system and your body with the food it needs to feel safe and supported. And number 8, your blood sugar. And this kind of ties into cravings, but if you're skipping meals, your blood sugar can drop, and then your body will raise cortisol in order to get some glucose into the bloodstream, and then you're going to have glucose coming in, and then the insulin's going to dump into your system, and then your blood sugar is going to crash, and it's going to go up and down all day. We do not want to have that up and down roller coaster of blood sugar. We want to have a nice, steady supply of blood sugar. Keep your blood sugar stable, keep your hormones stable, and your nervous system relaxed. So those are 8 reasons why we need to be eating about 300 to 400 calories every 3 to 4 hours or more. So if you have an active job, if you're always moving, then you probably need more calories every 3 to 4 hours. So it just depends on what you require, what your body requires. And that's where you have to use intuition. And you have to ask yourself, is this enough food for me? How am I feeling? And if you feel like you need more food, then you need to increase your dose of food. Okay, so I've kind of, now I want to talk about the meal plans that are available to you in Metabolism Tune-Up, so you have more than one option, because I want you to find the option that works best for you. So in the Quick Start module, you have the 3 every 3 or the 4 every 4 meal plan. And that is just sort of to give you a very concrete understanding of what that looks like. And you can follow that to a T if you want. And you can mix and match. So pick one item per meal, and you use that 3 every 3, 4 every 3 as sort of like a menu that you can select from. Or you can just stick with this, so you can vary it, and so you can have different meals, different items, like one day can be every day can be different, or you could stick with the same meals every day for a week or so, and then change it up, whatever works for you. The second option is the 4-week meal plan, which all the dinners are selected for you, and then you have flexible breakfast, snacks, and lunch is usually the leftovers from dinner. The third option is new. It's the Metabolism Safe Liver Cleanse. So typically if you do like a fruit and vegetable juice cleanse or a fruit and vegetable liver cleanse, it's not actually giving your liver everything it needs. You need protein, you need glycine, you need collagen, you need foods that are going to support all aspects of your liver. So the Metabolism Safe plan is sort of like a fruit and vegetable plan, except it also includes protein. So you can do that one. And then the fourth option is to build your own in the framework that I give you in the Quick Start module, which is where you eat about 3/4 cup of like crumbled or chopped meat, animal meat, or cottage cheese, or fish, you know, chicken, eggs, that kind of thing. Then you combine that with 3/4 cup of cooked veggies, either a 1/2 cup or 3/4 cup of some kind of carbohydrate like rice, sweet potatoes, blue corn chips. You could even do that. And you also add about 1 to 2 teaspoons of fats and even 1 tablespoon of vinegar, because vinegar helps your blood sugar and it helps your body to release the enzymes, the digestive enzymes that you need. So those are 4 different plans for you, and you have to decide, take a look at each one of them and decide which one you want to do. If you're feeling just like super congested, I would suggest starting with the liver cleanse, the Metabolism Safe Liver Cleanse, and doing that for about a week. So you're going to be combining protein with lots of fruits and veggies and really flooding your body with all these nutrients that you need. Or like, it just depends, like what works best for you. Having a mix and match system, or having meals that are already planned out and then everything else is flexible, or building your own. So one last thing I want to talk about is, when is it okay to skip a meal? If you do want to skip a meal, it is okay every now and then. We just don't want to be in the habit of doing that. We really want to get in a good rhythm of eating every 3 to 4 hours. But if you do want to intentionally skip a meal, the best one to do that would be your dinner time meal. But just be aware, if you're waking up in the middle of the night and you can't get back to sleep, that's a sign that you need more fuel. You need more energy, and you need like a substantial dinner or a bedtime snack. So usually if you wake up in the middle of the night, your blood sugar has dropped, your liver has run out of glycogen, and your body is waking you up to let you know. So if you do want to skip, you can try your dinner time meal, skipping that, but then just, if you're not sleeping well, you probably need to bring that in. Okay, so thank you so much. I don't see any questions. Thanks for joining me. And remember, if you are struggling, if you're having a hard time, you can post questions in this Facebook group, or after you've gone through all of the 10 habits, there is a booking link where you can book a 15-minute call with me, and I can help you pinpoint what's going on. Okay, so you have lots of resources, you have lots of meal plans, and you have lots of help. And also, like, rely on the group, the community. You post your questions or just like your wins inside of this group. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have a great Sunday.